Hello everybody, Rob Hau, Rockstar Realtor. I'm the Realtor, you're the Rockstar, and I'm here with another ROBNOSTICATION for June 2021. Are you ready to find out what's on my mind and what I think is going to happen in the real estate market in Las Vegas in June 2021? Well, check it out. It's coming right up. All right, everybody, it is May and I am thinking about June and beyond. What's gonna happen in the residential real estate market in June in Las Vegas? Well, I have some thoughts. And first, I'll start by telling you where we have been. We have been just so crazy. It is historic what's been happening. And as I said in my last ROBNOSTICATION, there would be continued real heat in the market. It's beyond that. It's been just blazing
hot.
What's been happening? Well, people are coming in, they're paying cash, either over list price or they're paying cash towards the appraisal if it doesn't appraise. In other words, you make an offer on a property, you pay over list price, but you're probably expecting, at least if your agent is telling you correctly, that maybe that property will not appraise. So you're saying, you know what, I'll pay over the appraised value. That's been happening quite a lot. And it is what is moving our market up and away. That has created just a fantastic seller's market, but a lot of sellers are not interested in selling.
Even though you're gonna get top dollar.
Where are they gonna go? If you wanna stay in Las Vegas, where are you gonna go? So you really have to be in a situation where that property is gonna make you enough money that you can go out and do the same thing that happened on your property, which is probably pay above appraisal, or at least have a very, very strong offer going in to compete with multiple offer situations. That's what's been happening all over the place. Now, what this is doing is setting new highs for the comparable sales in the area. The comparable sales are continuing to go up. So when somebody pays over appraisal, normally even an appraisal might come in higher than the last one if the market is perceived by the appraisers to be an upward moving market, which it generally has been for many years in Las Vegas.
But now
they cannot perceive that the range that people really it's going to. And even Zillow sometimes, if you look up on Zillow, some people are telling me when they look up their properties, Zillow doesn't have what's called a Zestimate. Their algorithm is unable to tell you what your property might be valued at. So that tells you that things are just going haywire. It's like people are willing to spend a lot more for properties. And if your property's a really nice property, or if it happens to be like a special property that would be not a lot of them, even if we had a traditional amount of inventory happening,
your property's going to be really, really getting a lot of attention.
For example, horse property. I just sold a horse property, just gone like that because there's not a lot of horse property to begin with. So what's happening is that these new highs are being created by people going over the appraised value, and now you're going to have new comparable sales that are going to be out there. That means that when you go to list your property, I'm going to come to you and say, well, here's what we see in the market and here's where a great list price would be for your home that we think it'll appraise at. So we have new marker downs that are happening and new levels of value that are being created. My ROBNOSTICATION has to do a little bit with what I hope I don't see. And I don't think I'm gonna see it, but I hope we don't see another round of this. I really don't wanna see us get to these new levels and still have people in the marketplace paying above or waiving appraisal contingencies completely above list price or above appraised value after this round, so to speak, basically after this quarter or around the middle of the summer. I want to see things get back to a little bit of normalcy where people are not having to pay so much for these properties.
Because if we get up too high,
it just doesn't make sense, and I think we would be built on a house of cards at that point. It could be what people would call a bubble. I don't want to scare people to think that if you buy now that you are going to be involved in some value crash, but it's possible if we continue to go up and away and it doesn't make sense. Now, I don't think we're going to see anything like 2008 regardless, but what I mean is that it could go up and then tumble a little bit, but not to the floor. I just think that what would happen is that people can't afford where it's at, and eventually, maybe quickly to some level, the market would change, and that those values would not stay where they're at. So a lot of people would be basically overpaying for a property, and in a relatively short amount of time they would find that out. I don't think that's happening now, but again, if it's another round of this, that would be I think that would be problematic. I just told you what I hope doesn't happen, but what I actually think is going to happen is that we're going to sort of plateau out and just see slightly more incremental increases, more responsible increases, let's just say. The real truth is that I don't think we're going to have another round of this where people go above appraised value and create new highs in the next few months. I think we're going to stay where we have been creating them, maybe with some incremental movement up, but not these big swings. That's what I actually think is going to happen, and that tells me that we're running short on miracles. And what do I mean by running short on miracles?
I mean for you sellers.
There's a lot of sellers out there right now that know the market the world is their oyster. I have this valued asset and I can sell it for what I think it's worth. I can go out there and put what might be, it would have been unreasonable a few months ago to have thought you could get a certain price for your home. And now people are doing that and they're getting at or near those prices. And in some cases, I would call it a miracle that they got that price. We're running short on those miracles, and I'm saying that because I want to temper what might be in some sellers' minds. Okay, they're going to come to me and they're going to say,
Rob, I've heard that I can just ask whatever I want for my property.
And I'm going to say, currently, if you come to me right now, that's kind of close to the truth. I mean, it can get a lot for your property. It's always within reason.
But
as we go along, I think that's going to taper off. We're going to taper off from those miracles. As we go along, we're going to get back to a little bit more what would be traditionally important for properties to sell quickly and sell for the most money, which is to be a property in great condition and maybe be updated and modernized. All those things would help you now regardless, but even kind of junkier stuff is selling really quick right now. I mean, I got my inspectors that tell me about properties they've inspected, and they're like, these properties are selling for top dollar, and they're finding a lot wrong with them. And people are accepting that. I think you have to do what you have to do in this market, and the reason why people are doing what they're doing is because they can. These are my marker downs for people that are purchasing right now. If you're purchasing because ultimately you're in a very good spot with your work, with whatever creates your financial situation, and you can look forward to being able to have that strength. Not that you're going to say, I'm going to make more money in the future, but even if you stayed exactly where you are right now, you could be comfortable with whatever payment you're paying. And you happen to have some cash on hand to help the situation to be able to purchase a property you're going to get right now. Those are all good things, and I think ultimately if it's important to you to maybe get out of the rental market,
which is an absolute nightmare. The rental market is terrifying right now.
Never seen anything like it. I do wish for people to get out of that, but a lot of people can't. Even if you can get a loan like an FHA loan, to be able to compete in the market has been very difficult for people with FHA loans without some cash behind it, some ability to go above appraisal or waive a contingency or bridge an appraisal gap. I hope everybody's following. There's a lot of stuff that I'm talking about here, but it's all within my predictions that are going forward. So if you're a buyer and you're in that situation where you are going to be comfortable with what your payment is, and you have the cash and you have the ability to do things, and it means a lot for you to get the heck out of the situation you're in, whether it's another state or a rental situation, you're sick and tired of the rental market,
do it.
Because the interest rates are great, and ultimately you're getting a home that you will be happy in. Regardless of what happens in the market, you're gonna be fine. That's generally my thought there. But for those of you who might be teetering more or having to squeeze, I know there's a lot of you that have just gotten out of the market. You're waiting for your opportunity. I wish I could say when I thought that opportunity was coming, because right now I see continued strength through August, as I've been saying, through the summer. I hope that we start to see some of the factors that have been creating this market change, where there really is a tale of two worlds happening here, where you have people that are in rough times right now with the rental market, and if they can't afford to get a loan and get a property, the rental market is just insane. It's putting them in situations that I think are, we're not really seeing the effect of that fully just yet. But that effect is going to come out as time goes along. And it'll be interesting to see what happens when we fully get rid of the rental eviction moratoriums, whether it's the federal or the state. It'll be interesting to see the full effect of, well-intentioned those moratoriums were, but what will it then create as time goes on? So to wrap it all up, June is going to be continuing to have a very strong flow for the residential market. I see a lot of people coming into the market. I see even more people coming here from other states. It just seems like we have an endless flow. And as we open up, as the people get more comfortable, I think you're gonna see one more sort of shebang of this through the summer. For you sellers though, be aware, we're running short on miracles, and if you're not getting in now or very soon, I mean, you're gonna miss the best part of all of this. We're really in the very, very best, the chunkiest part of being able to sell a home right now. Property goes on the market, and by the end of the weekend, you'll have multiple offers, and that's almost in every price range. And again, as long as you're within reason and not completely shooting for the stars, completely shooting for a miracle. But as time goes, those miracles they're gonna wind down. And look for continued problems in our rental market. The continued issues that we're having in the rental market are going to stay as they have been. If you're looking for luxury market is absolutely flying off the shelf as well. I want to specifically talk to luxury home owners because this is where the miracles are happening the most. Traditionally, that market would sell much slower, and it has been at a rip-roaring pace in the luxury market. If you're thinking about selling a home that's over $1 million, now is the time if you want to do it quickly. Or even if you just want to see, maybe you'll get that miracle that you're looking for. Maybe you'll get that top dollar, somebody who's got some cash to go above appraisal or just pay outright for your home. If it's in a good area, if it's a nice listing, it's going to get what you want out of it. It will. All right, luxury homeowners, even you can sell your home quickly, which is not always the case. Thanks for watching this month's ROBNOSTICATION, and check out SummerlinSouthHouse.com for everything there is to know about Summerlin South. I'm putting videos on there every week. There are new videos on my YouTube every week. There is so much to know about Summerlin South, my favorite area in Las Vegas, and it is the area that I've chosen to specialize in. So hit that subscribe button, and hey, remember, if it's residential real estate, now you know how. Rob Hau, Rockstar Realtor. I'm the realtor, you're the rock star. Have a fabulous day. See you soon.